Pump Fake. All right, welcome into the Week 5 recap edition of the Pump Fake, everybody. Jarrett Bailey here with you as always. No more undefeated teams in the NFL. We'll talk about both Patriots, Bills, Broncos, Eagles in depth today. And I'm joined by my good friend from Sports Illustrated, Matt Verderame. It's always good to see your lovely face, buddy. How are you?
Good. Now that I'm looking at this camera, I'm realizing I need to shave. But other than that, I'm fine.
I don't know if you do the same thing that I do, but like I'll say that and I won't do it for about 4 days. Like I'll just be like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to do that. And I just,
Yeah, I gotta do it though, because I gotta do work stuff this week. So I actually have to like get a haircut and shave like a person. But we'll get there. I also notice I'm wearing the same sweatshirt now that I am in the intro video, which I don't know if I've changed since then.
I think the thing that you told me once, because I was like, a friendly jab. It was like, I'm pretty sure that you wear like the same 3 hoodies or crew necks whenever we do shows. You're like, yeah, like I'm at home. These are the ones I like. I'm comfortable, whatever. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't care. Like, my daughter was just mad at me. I had to pick her up from school. She's like, "Why do you wear the same shirt all the time?" I'm like, "It's clean. It's a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do?" So, yeah, I'm not putting on a suit and tie to walk down the steps.
That's completely understandable. So like I said, we have a few select games that we'll focus in depth on. We'll have little nuggets on every game that took place on the Sunday slate. So if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. If you're listening as a podcast, be sure to comment, review, do all that fun stuff. And we'll dive in to Week 5. We are presented by FanDuel on the Believe Network. So let's start with last night. Patriots defeat the Buffalo Bills, and I mean, it was a dirty game all around, especially for Buffalo. Sean Hockley's a terrorist, by the way. It's not just, this game in general. Every game that Sean Hockley refs, I believe I saw a stat, he averages 15 penalty calls per game. It's brutal, absolutely brutal. But for the Bills in particular, 3 turnovers, one of which was a Josh Allen interception in the red zone. Wasn't a good game for Josh by his standards. Overall, just sloppy football. And you can get away with that if you're the Bills doing it against, Spencer Rattler. But with, a good up-and-coming team like New England with a good quarterback in Drake May, you're not going to get away with it. My main takeaway was this. The same issues that the Bills have had since like 2021 are still there, where they can't get consistent pressure on the quarterback. And if they do, they can't finish. They're always hurt. Like Milano's hurt again. They're still strolling out the fossil of Tre'Davious White as their number 2 cornerback, and they just don't have any reliability on the back end, which is kind of a new problem. Like they paid Benford this past offseason, but even he hasn't been all that great. Taron Johnson can't tackle. Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, aren't starting caliber safeties. So the defense as a whole, not great. The offense played sloppy, and when you do that, you're gonna lose. What were your overall thoughts on the Sunday night game?
Very similar. I did it at Spaces just for a few minutes after the game, just kind of for fun, just giving my thoughts. And I said pretty much what you said. They're the same Bills team they've been for years. And the good news is that's going to win a lot of football games. And the bad news is if they don't correct it, they're not going to win anything because that defense isn't good. I know you look at the numbers and go, well, it's okay here and it's okay there. If you actually watch them, they're not good.
Yeah.
They're not good on third down a lot of the time. They don't get consistent pressure. And whether it's because of injuries or ineffectiveness, this draft class has done nothing. I mean, they drafted 3 DBs, including Maxwell Harrison in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted 3 defensive linemen. Mm-hmm. And outside of Walker, who's been pretty good, they've gotten nothing.
Yeah.
None of these guys are doing anything. And that is, look, you're not going to win in the NFL at the highest of high levels when you are drafting guys who, for whatever the reason, aren't getting the job done. And they've had a history of this with the defense. Like A.J. Epinesa, he's all right.
I mean, hey, we've brought up this graphic before. I'll put it on screen again. There it is.
Like look at it. I mean, Epinesa is fine. Rousseau's the best of the, but he's been good. But like again, he's all right. Like Kyrie Irving was terrible.
Yeah, they got rid of him. Now I will say, Dalton Kincaid has finally come around and is kicking all sorts of ass for them this season. But even so, like receiver wise on the offensive side of the ball, they have no one that can separate.
That to me is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not. You're right. Dalton Kincaid's playing very well. Part of the reason Dalton Kincaid is playing so well is because none of the receivers can get open.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball's going to Dalton Kincaid. And I got to tell you, if I'm the Pats, go ahead. Throw the ball to Dalton Kincaid. I don't care. Keon Coleman, he had 7 targets last night for 23 yards. I don't really give a shit that he scored a touchdown. Like, he had 23 yards and 7 targets. And that's not a great secondary in New England. Like, Christian Gonzalez is really good, but the rest of those guys are guys. Or they're young and they're unproven. And it just, look, the Bills, everything is hard for them throwing the football.
Yes.
No one gets open. Allen's got to run around forever. And when your most reliable guys are your tight end and your slot receiver going for 8 yards a pop, like, you got problems.
Yeah.
But with that said, their offense to me is not their problem because Allen will do enough and Cook will do enough and Brady will scheme it up enough. Okay. I watched this for years in Kansas City where everybody went, oh my God, Juju's the number 1 receiver. Yep. Don't care. Mahomes for 5,000 yards anyway.
Yeah.
Like the problem becomes if you can't block, which they can block. So they're right there. Or if your defense is a sieve. And right now in Buffalo, they're not even playing anybody who's that good. And their defense is somewhat of a sieve. The good news is the AFC is terrible.
It's not good.
The Ravens stink. The Bengals are cooked. The Chargers have shown they're the Chargers after trying to fool people for 3 weeks. It's probably going to be Buffalo and Kansas City again for what feels like the 80th straight year in the AFC Championship game.
It's the Cavs Warriors of the AFC at this point.
Yeah, the problem is if Kansas City has Worthy and Rice, and now all of a sudden a line that can block with Simmons at left tackle. You know, one thing with the Bills, like they want you to run the ball because they can actually defend that to some degree. The Chiefs won't even try to run the ball.
Yeah.
They'll just have Mahomes drop back 50 times and throw it and throw it. And like if you're the Bills, that is what you have to be thinking about. We got to beat them. How do we beat them? And it starts with your secondary and it starts with your pass rush. And right now, those two things are underwhelming.
Yeah. And there is a silver lining here. It's like the issues that they have, they're fixable. They just have to be willing to do the things necessary to fix it. Like if Reek Woolen's actually available, like that's a guy on a rookie deal who fits McDermott's mold of what he wants in a cornerback. He's long, he's lanky, and at his best, he's good ball skills and he can defend the run. Like go and try to get a guy like Reek Woolen. And when it comes to the receiving issues, like they don't need a superstar. They just need, like when John Brown was there and he was a guy who's just fast and could take the top off the defense, like just get a guy who can separate. It doesn't have to be, prime Randy Moss that you go get. Like these are fixable problems.
But I agree and I disagree at the same time. I agree in the sense that, yeah, and then go get somebody. Jarrett, they've had these problems for 5 fucking years.
They have.
I mean, they ever going to do it?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I could fix my gutters. But if I never get off my ass and get on a ladder, like it's not going to get fixed.
And that's the the other side of the coin. Yes,
the Bills have done this. Like they went out and they signed Von Miller to a fortune. It was a terrible contract. They went out and traded for Amari Cooper. He was awful. Yeah. They have gone out and they spent real money on Joey Bosa this year, who's kind of just been like a guy.
He's been a guy, yeah.
Like they gave $80 million to Greg Rousseau. Is he going to start playing football this year? Like he was all right. He was great the first drive of last night, and then that was it. Like they gave a big investment draft-wise to Boogie Basham and AJ Epinesa. They've done that now with Landon Jackson and TJ Sanders. And we'll see what happens. I'm not saying that they're bust, but like to this point, they gave Dwayne Carter a big draft investment last year. The guys are healthy and active by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like, you need to hit on these guys. You don't have to hit on all of them. No one's expecting you to hit on all of them. You've got to hit on some of them. Kyrie Irving was a disaster. Maxwell Harrison to this point has been hurt, not on the field. Like, they hit on Christian Benford late in the draft. That was a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
But these other guys, they're not hitting. And like at some point, man, like that's going to bite you in the ass. Go ask Cincinnati about that. Cincinnati, people always say, oh, the Bengals, they don't invest in the line. No, they do. They just invest in the wrong guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they've absolutely invested in their offensive line. Jonah Williams was a first-round pick. Amarius Mims was a first-round pick. Orlando Brown got big money. Alex Kappa got real money. Ted Karras got real money. On down the, they're not the right guys. Like, that's the problem. I mean, they the Bengals have spent money on certain guys. Not the Bengals. I mean, that's a relative term. But like, they've done it. They just haven't hit on him. And like, that's the problem. Like, the Bills could go out and trade for Rashid Shaheed, right?
Yeah,
sure. But like, then what? And also, like, look, Rashid Shaheed's a nice player, but like, he's not. Like, when I look at teams in the NFL, I look at, okay, if I play the Rams, I've got a game plan for Puka Nacua. I've got a game plan for Kyron Williams. I've got a game plan for Jarrett Verse and Braden Fisk. I've got a game plan for Byron Young.
Devontae Adams.
When I play the Bills, I got a game plan for Allen and Cook, and that's it.
Mm.
I'm not game planning for Greg Rousseau. I'm not game planning for Terrell Bernard. They're good players, but like they're just, that's what they are. They're good players. Like, they're not. When you play Kansas City, you've got a game plan for Chris Jones. How are you going to block that guy? You are identifying where Trent McDuffie is every time he lines up in the defensive backfield. You've got a game plan for Rice and Worthy when they're on the field, and obviously Mahomes. With the Bills, there at some point comes a time where, like, look, you can have all the Band-Aids you want trading for some guy in week 9 that's got half a year left on his contract.
Yeah.
If you don't draft well, you're screwed. And the Bills' problem is, look, they know what their problem is. They just spent 6 picks on corners and DNs, right? Like, they know what the problem is, but they're not getting any return from these guys.
Yeah. The bigger overarching problem is that they're not good at fixing the problem they already have.
I mean, look at, like, I just brought up the Rams. I'll bring them back up. Like, all those defensive linemen, they drafted all of them.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams are all draft picks. And this is coming from a team literally that said, fuck them picks.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like, you look in Baltimore. Now, Baltimore's a mess right now, but when they're healthy, like, most of those guys are draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to Kansas City, Rice, Worthy, Jones, Karlaftis, McDuffie, Josh Simmons, Mahomes, they're all draft picks. The Bills right now, Allen's a draft pick. Some of the offensive linemen are a draft pick. Cook's a draft pick. The problem is where their weaknesses are, where they have spent draft capital and in some cases big contracts and whiffed. And like, yeah, you're 4-1, but you're playing nobody. Like, Atlanta and Carolina are up next. They should be 6-1 before they play Kansas City, and they probably will be. But I got to tell you, like, and I say this about Baltimore too. I don't care how many regular season wins you have. I don't care. Call me when you do something in the playoffs.
And frankly, I don't think Buffalo cares too much either about that.
No, I'm sure they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'd love to be the number 1 seed. They haven't been that in 30 plus years. Okay. Yeah. But you know this, and I know this, and they know this. If they don't play better defensively, they can be the number 1 seed all they want. They're going to lose because that defense is killing them. They played New England last night in a game that, quite honestly, New England had one guy that could beat them. He did. And he killed them all night long. The Pats have nobody on that offense outside of Diggs. The running backs can't stop fumbling. The line is not great. It's young, so that's to be expected, but it's not awesome. It's better, but not awesome. Hunter Henry's fine at tight end. And then it's like Booty and Douglas. Who cares? If you're the Bills, man, do anything. Double Diggs. Do whatever you got to do. Like, take him out of the game. Do not let him just crush you all night. And you watch that game, and every single time they needed to make a play, number 8 was wide open. I mean, a lot of those throws, now some of them were great throws by May. A lot of them were just open. A lot of them were just, hey, man, just hit him and let him run. And that kind of stuff, that is unacceptable. And part of the problem is, and I'll shut up, part of the problem is, too, the safeties are brutal.
They're not good.
They're so bad that, like, you are almost 11 on 9 with them. Like, Cole Bishop cannot cover. He can, and that, by the way, that is the other part of this too. Can anyone tackle?
Yeah, like Taron Johnson can't tackle and is getting older. It's awful. Their tackling is horrible.
I mean, they left the Saints in that game for 3 quarters because they couldn't tackle. They couldn't get anybody to the ground. Like, some of that is fixable and correctable, but some of that also just becomes who you are at a certain point. Like, you have to fix it. And right now, Buffalo 4-1. That's great. Not fixing it.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to the overarching thing over the past few years where like these have been the same issues that they've had. And we seem to always find our way back to having this conversation. So we'll see what comes of it. Let's move on though, because there was a very fun game in the late window yesterday, the Bucs and the Seahawks. You in our season preview show said that you think the Bucs are going to be in the NFC title game. And right now they are proving you very right. Baker Mayfield, 29-33, 379 and 2 touchdowns. The Buccaneers, in my opinion, are the most fun team in football right now. They went on the road, took a long road trip to Seattle against a good Seattle team. A lot of injuries on both sides of the ball and came away with a win. I think the NFC South is done at this point. It's just a matter of what seed the Buccaneers will have. But these are two teams, especially Seattle, that I didn't see as like a real playoff threat too much this year, but they're playing well. Tampa Bay, obviously playing well. Just two fun teams that put on a hell of a show yesterday.
I mean, if you love passing, that was your game.
Yeah.
And it was aesthetically pleasing because the uniform.
Oh, yeah. Oh, CBS did the right thing too with the score bug also being the throwback logos. That was good. It was good.
Very
job
cool.
by them. Yeah.
Very cool. Listen, man, the Bucs are doing all this, and they don't even have Evan, Godwin, and McMillan.
Yeah. By the way, Emeka Egbuka might be the greatest receiver to ever live at this point. He's terrific.
They drafted him. You got their 3 guys all coming back. Irving didn't even play in that game, and he scored 38 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cooking. Okay, you scored 38 points on the road against Mike McDonald's defense, and you don't even have like 4 or 5 weapons, and
it's pretty crazy.
Smoked them. Okay, that is cooking. Look, I'm a big believer in the Buccaneers because right now it's funny. You look around. Who's the team in the NFL? The whole NFL. You sit there and go, that team's a great team.
There's not many.
There's not one. Who is it? Right now, I'd make a real argument. Like for a minute, put the records aside because we're a quarter way of the year. That can be wonky. If I had said to you right now, who are the teams that can get to the Super Bowl? I would give you Buffalo, and Kansas City in the AFC. I don't think anybody else can do it.
I agree.
I think it's one of those 2 teams.
Yep.
Okay. The Rams, the Bucks, the Eagles, the Lions. You want to throw the Packers in there?
I'd throw the Packers in there still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throw the Packers in there. Is there anybody
7?
I'm missing?
Nah, I don't think so.
7 teams. I mean, now look, you'd rather be in the AFC if there's 2 compared to 5.
Yeah.
And I know maybe the 3 Chargers fans out there would argue that the Chargers should be in there, but I just can't take them seriously.
Especially after what we saw yesterday, just letting the Commanders steamroll them.
Look, I think Seattle's a good team. I think the Bucs are a really good team. Yeah. And the Buccaneers defensively scare the hell out of me at times. They're not a great defensive team, but I will say, we just talked about Buffalo's draft picks. Like Jacob Parrish has been awesome.
Awesome, dude. I think your colleague Connor Orr said he was the first quarter defensive rookie of the year.
I would agree, Connor. Look, this is a really, really good up-and-coming team. Mayfield is absolutely, at this point, a top 10 quarterback, if not well higher than that.
Yeah.
I think the Buccaneers are going to win 12, 13 games. And they are, in my eyes, a team that you'll look at and say, okay, who can't they beat? Who's the team that you play and you go, they just can't beat that team? I don't know.
Think there is one, yeah.
I don't know, especially if they wear the creamsicles. So,
yeah. If they get to the Super Bowl, they should be allowed to wear them in the Super Bowl.
Totally agree. I'm with them. I'm with the Bucs.
All right. Let's go to Broncos-Eagles, though. Philadelphia outscored 18-0 in the fourth quarter. Yep. Not only can't they throw the ball, but they also can't run the ball right now, which kind of compromises everything that they can do offensively. Denver took advantage of that. It took them 3 quarters to do it, but the Broncos come back and win a game that exposed everything wrong with Philadelphia offensively right now. They had a bunch of costly defensive penalties, too. Zach Bond had a late hit penalty that really all but ended the game. So Philadelphia loses their first game of the year. They haven't looked great at all this year to begin with, but after a loss, it's much easier to poke holes in it than it is after a win.
No, they've been awful for big stretches of the year, but to their credit, they found ways to win. They didn't on Sunday. And I mean, listen, we're sitting here. Barkley is rushing for 3.2 yards per carry.
Not good.
He has been flat out bad. And Jalen Hurts is throwing for 889 yards on 6.4 yards per attempt. He is 22nd in the league in passing yards. He is behind Mac Jones, who's played 2 fewer games.
That's crazy.
Okay. They are not operating in a way that a winning football team does. And they were lucky to be Kansas City. They got a turnover in the end zone that should have been a touchdown. They were lucky to beat the Rams. They blocked 2 field goals in that game. They've had a horseshoe for a lot of the year. And listen, I will also give credit to the Eagles. Winning is a skill. It is a hard thing to do, and they found ways to do it. But that Denver game, look, I watched that game. I mean, the play calling of that game was insane.
Yeah.
They refused to run the football the entire second half, despite winning by 2 touchdowns. Hurts had a wide open A.J. Brown to end the game.
He threw it to York County when everybody it was not good.
10 yards. And I know Brown slowed down. It was a bad throw. And then
do you think that a lot of the game plan in the second half was in large part due to Smith and Brown being frustrated and wanting the ball more?
Maybe, but I think it's an offensive coordinator, quite honestly, at this point, has not done a great job. And that is, I am never going to count out Philadelphia. They're 4-1 and they're champs. Their roster is not the roster they had a year ago.
Yeah.
That is pretty evident at this point. And look, I said this a lot in the offseason. Like, Barkley's great, but he was never repeating that year. No one does. No one repeats that year.
No.
So it's a big ask, man. It's a big ask. I give Denver all the credit in the world. They hung in there. They played tough. Bo Nix was hideous for 3 quarters, but played really well in the fourth. Then I don't know what the hell to make of Denver. I kind of think Denver's the team they were a year ago.
I do too. I don't think there's been so much regression. I don't think there's been a lot of progression. I think they'll be right around a 9-win team and maybe.
Yeah, I think they're going to win like 9 or 10 games, and that's fine. But they look. I'll say one thing for Denver: if they can just pin their ears back and rush the passer,
Nick Bonino might be like pound for pound the top pass rusher in the NFL right now.
They are rolling.
Yeah,
and that is one thing with Hurts over the years. He'll take sacks. He will stand back there and he will get sacked. And he got sacked in this game quite a few times. Look, I give Denver a lot of credit. I think Philadelphia will be fine. But Philadelphia at some point, you got to get going offensively here a little bit.
Yeah.
And that game should have been over. And they just could not do anything. And they put the defense on the field the whole second half. And, the result is Denver getting a win.
That it is. All right. Final 5 minutes. We'll roll through each of the remaining games, give a little tidbit on every game that took place. Minnesota defeats Cleveland in London. We'll see with the Vikings. They're 3-2. They do not feel like a 3-2 football team. I don't know, man. I wasn't very high on them coming into the year. Their quarterback stuff still scares me and their offense scares me, but they're 3-2 at the bye.
Yeah, we'll see what happens if J.J. McCarthy comes back off the bye against the Eagles. Carson Wentz makes plays, but he also makes a lot of negative plays. 12 sacks.
That's pretty much Carson Wentz's career in a nutshell. Yeah,
he does.
Yep. All right. Texans just destroy Baltimore. I understand that there was a lot of injuries in this game, and Baltimore wasn't ever really going to probably win this game despite a miracle. But 44 points for Houston. That's got to feel good after the first quarter of the year that they had.
I got to tell you, first of all, kudos to Houston. Stroud threw 4 touchdowns. I know they're missing everybody. I get it. You got to show them play football.
Yeah.
I know I've seen a lot of people well, what are they supposed to do? Not lose by 34 points at home. Okay? I don't care who the hell's out. Okay, you want to lose by 10.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell me that team's less talented now than the Saints? Saints are not losing by 34 points every week. Come on. I mean, you got to play football. The Ravens have had a look the last game and a half of a team that, quite honestly, just does not think it can win and is ready to basically lay down. And that is deeply concerning.
Yes, it is. The Panthers lose to Carolina in a really back and forth game in the fourth quarter. Mike McDaniel, I mean, the seat isn't just hot. It's basically on fire. It's a matter of when, not if he's moving, that they're moving on from him. Colts. Yeah, no, you can't. And they did. The Colts 40-6. My God, dude, the Colts are so fucking fun. They're so fun.
Colts. I don't know how long this is going to go on. Cause it's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
But I'll say that if everybody's well, they're beating the Raiders and they're beating the Titans and they're beating they're kicking the crap out.
That's the thing. They're beating the shit out of these teams.
If you want to give their win these games 21-20, they're not. They're winning by massive margins. Look, I'll tell you what. I mean, I think they're a playoff team. I don't know that they're going to be going to the Super Bowl, but I give them a lot of credit. Daniel Jones has been a great story.
Yeah. The Saints get their first win of the year. Jackson Dart didn't look great. Spencer Rattler threw a long touchdown to Rashid Shaheed. These 2-0 teams that had to play because it was on the schedule. The Cowboys, big offensive outpouring from Dallas, 2 touchdowns for Jake Ferguson. They destroy the Jets. I picked Dallas to be a playoff team ahead of the year because of the offense, and right now they're proving me right.
Hey, Brian Schottenheimer's got the offense cooking. If they could play any defense, they would be pretty good. But, if nothing else, they're 2-2-1. They're in the mix. I think this is about what they're going to be. Kind of like a 500 level team. The Jets are the only winless team in football. They are awful.
Is Aaron Glenn a one and done there?
No, I don't think, and I don't think he should be. Dude, their roster stinks.
It's not good.
What is he supposed to do with that team? They suck.
That's fair. The Titans win a hilarious football game against the Cardinals because it's the Cardinals.
At this game, other than what it was hilarious. The Cardinals. I'm not kidding. I would have thought about firing Cannon after this game. That is the most embarrassing loss I think I've seen a team have in a very long time.
I agree. Jake Browning might be the worst quarterback in NFL history. He had 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns that meant nothing because of the hole he put them in. Detroit wins convincingly.
You talk about a team that's laying down.
They
are. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. They may not win another game.
Yeah. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins might. They
don't even look like they care.
No, they might stage a mutiny.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, we gave up another touchdown. Jake threw another pick. It goes again. Yeah. Yep. Dude, that team's like if it wins like 4 games this year.
I agree. Very much agree. And then the Commanders win 27-10 over a Chargers team that was winning 10-0 at one point and then completely blew it. Big game for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Krosky-Merritt looks great. I love his game. I'll say this about the Chargers that would deeply concern me. And this has been years on end. They just find ways to lose.
They sure do.
That game, I watched that whole game, man. 10-0 driving, they fumble the ball. So then they're winning 10-7, and McConkey brings back a punt, 57 yards for a touchdown, and they rough the punter. And then they had the next drive out of the half in the third quarter. Herbert throws 2 big throws, like 20 yards, something like that. They're both called back on penalties. Like, you just can't, you can't do this against decent football teams. And they just beat themselves. And now Hampton's hurt, and he's got to get his ankle looked at. 2 weeks ago, everybody's, the Chargers. And now it's like, are they even a playoff team? I don't know, maybe. But, that's probably all they are.
Buyer beware September success. All right, we got to get out of here. The Chiefs play the Jaguars tonight. I assume you think that your Chiefs are going to win.
If the Chiefs don't turn the ball over, they'll win.
There you go. All right, what have you got coming on Sports Illustrated before you get out of here?
Quarterback rankings on Thursday. My Friday file previewing the 5 best games of the week on Friday. Good, bad, and the ugly went up this past Sunday. Will go up this coming Sunday. And right now I've got coaches on the hot seat. I've also got a column on the Dolphins and why it is time to absolutely clean house and how they can do it. And another column up on the Ravens and how they are destroying Lamar Jackson's chance of ever winning Super Bowl.
Gotta love it. Matt Verderame, 6 strong seasons you've been doing shows with me, and sincerely, buddy, I appreciate it a lot anytime that you give me some time.
You got it. Anytime.
All right, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening as a podcast, leave a comment, review. We'll be back soon later on this week on The Pump Fake. Take care.